Get off stage. Get off stage.
No,
We're doing an interview.
Just.
Yeah, you can sit down. Yeah. Thank you. Sit down. Thank you very much. Carry on. So, congratulations to Skygraph. You've made an investment in them. How much have you invested?
Well, the investment we made in SkyDraft is a seed investment, and so we're not announcing the details. But I will say that Dave McClure, the 500 Startups, is one of their investors. They're probably going to have a number of other investors participate in their deals. We are taking them on a roadshow to connect them with some enterprise customers. We're going to scale the shit out of this team. So, can
we expect any more? How many more can we expect in the next 3 months, say?
Well,
6 months. It could take 6 months. How many investments do you want to make?
I would say so. Let me say this: there's no limit to the amount of dollars that we can invest in companies because we invest off the balance sheet. The limit is in how much bandwidth we have as a team to work with these companies. So I would say that for us to be able to work with the company and handhold them through the customer acquisition process and that sort of thing, it's going to be about 25 at a time is what we'll end up doing.
Do we have time for questions? Like 2 minutes? Any questions? Any questions? Anyone? You guys all good? Okay, let me. Okay, could you stand up, say? I'll repeat your question. Carry on.
No, it's okay. Hot companies out there. There's other good companies like yours that are shopping for them. What's your pitch aside from money in turn?
What's Microsoft Ventures? What's your pitch apart from money? That's a very good point, actually.
What's our pitch to startups?
Yeah, I mean, do you bring mentors? Do you bring distribution?
Yeah,
what do you bring?
Yeah. Well,
something called Microsoft?
Yeah. Yeah, so money is the least of our pitch, to be honest with you. Money comes from everywhere. It's just, money is on trees right now. That's the truth, right? What our pitch is basically, we are here to help make your business successful by getting you access to customers. I mean, our value proposition is really simple. It's unparalleled routes to customers, period, end of story. And so, when you come into our accelerator, we don't take any equity. That's number one. So we don't ask you for 6-10% of your company just to be part of our accelerator. That's free, if you're lucky enough to get in. And so what's happened now is our accelerators went from being the most sort of skeptical kind of thing, where people said, like, why on earth would I want to join a Microsoft accelerator, to being oversubscribed, where we're getting hundreds upon hundreds of applicants and we can only select 15 at a time. Our accelerators are getting just better and better, and we take no equity. So the pitch is pretty simple. If you want to build a great company, come to Microsoft Ventures. We'll help you.
You wrote in 20. All right. Yeah, will you lead deals?
Will we lead deals? So at the moment, we don't lead. We don't take board seats. As far as follow-on rounds, we have and we will take follow-on rounds in companies that we believe that are strategic to Microsoft. So, for example, we have made a number of investments in Israel. One of our most recent ones was Waze. We made an investment in 2010, and that was a fairly sizable investment. It was a strategic investment. They did get acquired by Google, but to give you an idea, we do participate in other rounds, but we will not lead.
Almost interesting to have Microsoft owning a part of Google in a funny sort of way. Lastly, in 2010 when you left, I think it was 2010 when you left HP,
yes.
You wrote a blog post and you said, I've struggled with this decision for many months. I have effectively been employed with one job for 20 plus years, Voodoo plus HP. So it is the most difficult move that I have ever made in my life. Will you be 20 years at Microsoft?
I have to say this. So having spent, nearly 20 years as an entrepreneur, building companies, failing, and succeeding at a couple, given the ability to be able to work with multiple companies at the same time and help them be successful, if I can do this for 5 years and make Microsoft Ventures successful, then I'll be happy. I tried taking time off. I tried, working from home or not really working for 2 years, and there's only so many remote control helicopters you can build before you go crazy. So I can see myself working for a long time. I will continue to work as long as I'm happy doing what I'm doing. And right now, I absolutely love what I'm doing.
Rahul Sood, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, the future of cloud is waiting. I think it was Woody Allen that said that today the future is not like it used to be. I think Woody was probably thinking about cloud. So without further ado, I want to invite Robert Lakin. Let me tell you a bit about him. He's the Tel Aviv-based emerging markets editor for Bloomberg News. Okay. His career has included roles in financial journalism and management consulting. He was previously with McKinsey and Company. Everyone are safely in. Is that okay? Hi, Robert. And we're ready to start. Robert is here. The future of clouds. Go ahead.
Okay, Arkady is here. Guillaume. Jean, why don't we sit 1, 2, 3, 4? Yep, is that okay? Seems all to be very, very casual. Yeah. Is Jean here? Yes. And I'm Robert. Hi, Robert. Nice to meet you. Okay, why don't we come sit? All right, so today's topic is the future of the cloud. And I thought we'd start off if we could get everybody to give a 144-character definition of what the cloud is, since I myself looked up this morning and found about 350,000 definitions. So, yeah.
Okay, and the first one. So please try to fill in Twitter or whatever you want with my definition. I hope it will fit the 140 characters. So basically what the cloud is about, it's a fast, easy, and open technology that provide a new delivery model, allowing companies to get access to apps and platform. That's my 140 definition of what the cloud is. So I hope it fits the 140, actually. It should.
Thank you. My definition is on the business side. So in my opinion, first and foremost, it's an enabling technology. It's a disruption. Oh, closer, sorry. So it's a technology which allowed a wave of disrupting existing businesses in the space of hosting and developing applications.
Okay, I also prepared. I used the cloud in the web, and I found an answer, and I put it in my Twitter, and it fits. So, and it says, cloud is a visible mass of liquid droplets of frozen crystals made of water suspended in the atmosphere above the surface of a planetary body. Yeah.
All that, the water and the gas screw things up. So how do you deal with the connection?
So it's, I just wanted to say that maybe it's another buzzword which is very useful when you want to refer things, more universal things, which change. And in the last decade, I think the definition of cloud changed a lot. And what we're talking about here, I think, is different layers which the cloud services provide us. And maybe we should start talking about the physical layer, infrastructure as a service. Then we should talk about the big data processing as a service. And then the third layer, which I would like to talk about, is what you do with this data, how you can process the data and what benefits are there.
Why don't we start with talk about what we do?
Okay. I think it's actually Yandex history is very simple. Yandex story is very simple. We take a lot of data, and internet was lucky enough to get access to big data earlier than any other industry. So we are very skillful in taking big data, uploading it somewhere, and processing it, and making use of it, making good services, which we all use every day today, from search, mail, or traffic jams, or whatever it is. So we are very skillful in processing data, and we think that data processing is becoming the key for the next industry revolution. Because what is industry revolution is when you do something several % more effectively as you used to do. You travel faster, or you communicate better, or you process plastic and metals more cheaply, and this all leads you to a next round of industrial revolution. The last industrial revolution was when all the industrial manufacture went to the Southeast Asia, and everything what we're now touching or wearing is manufactured somewhere there today. And the next revolution may come from savings, optimizing those several percent, I believe, on data. Today, we know how to process big data and how to make use of it. And we can save another 5% of fuel by calculating better routes for the airplanes, for example. Or, I don't know, example from advertising. We better target things and we bring more value to the selling chains or whatever. So we're saving those percentages. And saving of those percentages leads us to the next industrial revolution. And that industrial revolution will happen in the places where we know how to process the data.
Okay, let me ask you this, or let me ask all three of you this. Is it simply that the cloud is the latest thing that allows us to do things faster, better, cheaper? Choose 3 or 2 or 1 of those.
I can try to answer that. I think, well, okay. I think it's not only about, moving your legacy apps to the cloud to make them cheaper and faster and whatever. I think it's more about transformation, how you change your business process, how you, innovate. It's not about only applying, the old recipes and to the cloud expecting that it will be better. I think it's really about changing the way you think how the cloud could transform your company. So it's not only about, bringing the existing applications and process in the cloud. It's really about thinking new application, thinking new way of doing things, thinking new business process. Actually, there is 5 billion of those devices today in the world. Some analysts expect to have 50 billion of connected objects in the future. All those objects connected to the cloud will change, obviously, the way we do business, the way we interact with customers, the way we interact with users, because obviously behind all those objects you have people, you have person, you have consumers, users, etc. So it will change the way companies do business, it will change the way they kind of identify the value and create value in their ecosystem. And that's what the cloud is very important. It's mobile, it's social, and it will totally disrupt the way we do business today. So you have to embrace the cloud, not necessarily in a way where it's kind of a client server on steroid. It's really a new way of thinking your business process, a new way of thinking business. So that's, I think, the key in understanding the cloud today. It's not looking the cloud with the prism of the old IT world, but really the new one.
Well, in the way you frame the question, actually, I think it's the proper way to frame it. So what was it, faster, better, cheaper? And in my opinion, the faster and better are kind of the same thing, but was it so better or cheaper? It was cheaper. First and foremost, it was cheaper and opened a new market, something that was not possible to do before because it was too expensive. For example, if someone reads a book about early days of Google, you see how much effort those people spent on building the infrastructure. And for example, Yandex here maintains data centers with lots of computers in those data centers, and I'm sure that's very capital expensive. For example, if someone starts a small company, it's like, let's go back 10 years ago, and it's expensive. You have to buy computers or hire somebody, rent it by the month, and that's also expensive, maybe $100, maybe more per month. Or buy those servers, and then you have to hire people who know how to install those servers, configure network, and all that stuff. So with the cloud computing, all that expense is gone. You could get it for either very low cost or sometimes even free with some of the offerings on the market. So yes, in that frame, it was cheaper, and then it allowed new use cases which weren't addressed in the past. And it kind of became better over time.
As I already said, the question is, what is more effective? Since the most savings will come from data processing, the question is where it is more effective to process data. Is it centrally in the cloud or locally in different areas? We think that data processing is such an industry that it requires a lot of knowledge in one point, and that's why cloud-based data processing has much more future than distributed.